Something unbelievable is happening right now, and most people have absolutely no idea. There are coins, ordinary-looking Kennedy half-dollars, sitting in drawers, forgotten in jars, passed around in change, that are secretly worth a life-changing fortune. And today we uncovered something that stunned even seasoned collectors. Coins that look worn, dirty, even damaged, yet command shocking prices in today's auction market. Now imagine this for a second. What if the coin you ignored, the one you almost spent, was actually a hidden treasure waiting to explode in value? In this video, we're revealing two of the most mysterious, most talked about Kennedy half-dollars ever discovered. And the first one, trust me, you would walk past it without a second glance. Dark spots, strange toning, no mint mark. It looks almost worthless. But that's exactly where the story gets dangerous. Because collectors are hunting these. Quietly, aggressively. And the prices, they are rising fast. This is not fiction. This is happening right now in the US coin market. Stay with me, because by the end of this video, you might never look at your spare change the same way again. Coin number 1. The story of this coin begins in a year that most people would never question, 1974, a time when the Kennedy half-dollar had already become a familiar face in American currency. Millions were produced, circulated, exchanged, and overlooked. But hidden among those millions, something unusual slipped through. At first glance, this coin does not impress. In fact, it does the opposite. Its surface shows black, brown, and even greenish spots, almost like it has been forgotten in a damp corner for decades. Many people would call it damaged. Some would even throw it away. And that is exactly why it became one of the most shocking hidden treasures in modern coin collecting. Because what you're seeing on this coin is not just dirt. It's not random damage. It's a rare and naturally occurring transformation that only a tiny fraction of coins ever experience, and collectors know exactly what they're looking at. Let's slow down and really look at it. On the obverse, you see the familiar portrait of President John F. Kennedy. Designed by Gilroy Roberts, the face carries a sense of calm authority. But on this particular coin, the toning gives it a completely different personality. The shadows deepen. The contrast intensifies. It feels aged, almost historic, like it carries a secret. Flip the coin over, and the reverse reveals the powerful presidential seal, crafted by Frank Gasparo. The eagle, wings spread wide, clutching arrows and an olive branch, it symbolizes strength and peace. But again, the toning transforms it. The dark and uneven coloration gives it a dramatic, almost cinematic appearance that collectors find irresistible. Now here's where things take a turn. This coin has no mint mark. That means it was struck in Philadelphia, a facility known for high-volume production. Nothing unusual there, right? Wrong. Because within that massive production run, only a microscopic number developed this exact combination of environmental toning, preservation state, and surface chemistry. The black, brown, and green spotting, when naturally formed and stable, creates what collectors call target toning anomalies, and these are extremely difficult to replicate. And the moment the collecting community identifies a pattern like this, demand explodes. Let's talk about its physical presence, because this matters more than most people realize. This coin carries a weight of approximately 11.34 grams. Its diameter stretches to 30.6 millimeters, giving it that bold, unmistakable feel in the hand. The thickness, about 2.15 millimeters, adds to its solid, substantial profile. Its composition, outer layers of 75% copper and 25% nickel bonded to a pure copper core, might sound ordinary, but under decades of environmental interaction, this layered structure is exactly what creates those mesmerizing color variations. This is not accidental. This is chemistry meeting time. And collectors, they chase time. Now imagine a collector at an auction table. Dozens of coins pass by. Bright ones, shiny ones, perfect ones. But then, this coin appears. Dark, mysterious, different. It doesn't blend in. It stands out. That's when the room changes. Because experienced buyers know, coins like this are not mass-produced beauty. They are accidental masterpieces. And here's the truth most people don't want to believe. Coins in almost dirty condition are being ignored by the public while quietly being acquired by serious collectors who understand their rarity. This specific type of 1974 Kennedy half-dollar has become a silent target in the market. The supply is incredibly limited, and the demand is building stronger every single day. People are searching through old collections, inherited boxes, forgotten jars, hoping to find one. Because when they do, everything changes. Now let me tell you something that will stay with you. The current auction market has already confirmed the value of this exact type of coin in the condition described. $186,000. Yes, $186,000. And this is not a guess. This is not speculation. This is the current market reality, confirmed by recent auction behavior and private collector demand. If you are holding one of these, you are not holding a coin. You are holding a hidden fortune, a silent, overlooked, underestimated treasure that the world is only now starting to recognize. And the most powerful part? The value is not slowing down. It is rising. Quietly, steadily, relentlessly. This market is heating up, and those who understand it are not letting these coins go easily. So if you ever come across a 1974 Kennedy half-dollar with no mint mark, and it looks dark, spotted, even unattractive, stop. Look again, because you might be staring at something extraordinary. For collectors, the strategy is changing. It's no longer just about perfect shine, it's about unique identity. Coins that tell a story. Coins that carry time within their surface. And this one tells a story that the market is willing to pay for. If you find one, don't rush. Don't clean it. Don't alter it. Preserve it exactly as it is. Because that imperfect surface might be the very reason it holds such explosive value. And as we move forward, remember this feeling. Because the next coin takes this story even deeper. What we uncovered today is just the beginning. Hidden treasures are not always shiny. Sometimes they are disguised, overlooked, quietly waiting for the right eyes to recognize them. And that's exactly what we do here on US MintX. We bring you freshly uncovered stories every single day from the world of rare coins that are changing lives in ways most people never imagine. So before you leave, check your coins, because the next discovery might already be in your hands. Next up, coin number 2. There is something almost haunting about this coin. Because unlike most rare finds, this one doesn't just carry value, it carries history, emotion, and a moment frozen in time that the entire nation once felt. The year was 1964. America was still in shock. The memory of President John F. Kennedy was fresh, raw, and deeply emotional. And in response, the United States Mint rushed to create a coin that would honor him, a coin that people didn't just spend, they held onto. That coin became the 1964 Kennedy half-dollar. And here's where the story becomes powerful. Millions of Americans saved these coins as keepsakes. They were never meant to disappear into circulation. They were meant to be remembered. But time passed. Collections were forgotten. Boxes were sealed. Coins were exposed to air, humidity, and decades of silent transformation. And that is where this specific coin was born, not in the mint, but in time itself. At first glance, this 1,964 Kennedy half dollar looks like it has lived a long life. It shows black spotting across its surface. Not polished, not perfect, not flashy, but that surface is exactly what has turned it into a hidden treasure. Let's take a closer look. On the front, the obverse features the iconic portrait of President Kennedy, designed by Gilroy Roberts. But in this coin, the portrait feels different. The black spotting creates contrast that gives depth to the face, almost like shadows telling a story of time passing over it. You're not just looking at a design, you're looking at history aging in real form. Flip the coin, and the reverse reveals the presidential seal, designed by Frank Gasparo. The eagle stands strong, but the spotted toning adds a dramatic, almost storm-like texture that collectors find incredibly compelling. Now here's the part most people miss completely. This coin has no mint mark, which means it was struck in Philadelphia, but in 1964 something very important happened. This was the only year that Kennedy half dollars were minted in 90% silver for circulation. That alone makes it special, but not all of them survived the same way. The composition of this coin is 90% silver and 10% copper. That high silver content reacts over time in very specific ways. When exposed to certain environments, it develops natural toning, sometimes dark, sometimes uneven, sometimes forming black spots that look like damage to the untrained eye. But to a collector, that is character. That is rarity. That is value. Physically, the coin carries a weight of 12.5 grams, slightly heavier than later issues due to its silver content. Its diameter measures 30.6 millimeters, giving it a bold and commanding presence. The thickness, around 2.15 millimeters, feels solid, like you're holding something meaningful, something real. And that's because you are. Now let's talk about the condition, very fine. This is where things become even more interesting. A very fine coin means it has visible wear, but all major details remain strong and clear. Combine that with natural black spotting, and you get something incredibly rare. A coin that has lived through time, yet still holds its identity. Collectors are not just chasing perfection anymore. They are chasing uniqueness. And coins like this are impossible to duplicate. Each spot, each tone, each mark, it's like a fingerprint. No two are the same. And that's exactly why demand is rising. Quietly, but powerfully. In today's auction market, collectors are becoming more aggressive in acquiring toned silver coins from 1964, especially those without mint marks and with authentic aging patterns, because they know something most people don't. These coins are disappearing, not because they're being spent, but because they're being locked away in collections, vaults, and private holdings. And when supply drops, value rises. Now listen carefully. The current market has already spoken about this exact type of coin in the condition described. $165,000. Yes, $165,000. And this is not a fantasy number. This is the current, real, active market level based on collector demand and auction movement. This value is alive, and it is growing. Day by day, this coin is no longer just a piece of silver. It is a hidden treasure, a powerful historical artifact that people are still accidentally losing, still overlooking, still underestimating. Imagine holding something like this and not realizing what it truly is. That is happening right now, which is why you need to pay attention. If you ever come across a 1964 Kennedy half dollar with no mint mark and you notice black spots across its surface, do not ignore it. Do not clean it. Do not try to fix it, because that natural surface might be the very reason it carries such explosive value. For collectors, the strategy is clear. Preserve originality. Study toning patterns. Understand history. Because coins like this are not just increasing in price, they are increasing in importance. And those who recognize them early are the ones who win. What you've seen today is not just about coins. It's about hidden wealth. It's about history transforming into opportunity. And it's about realizing that sometimes the most valuable al-ashya are the ones that look the least impressive at first glance. On US MintX, we bring you these discoveries every single day, fresh, powerful, and real. So before you move on, take a moment. Check your drawers. Check your collections. Check your change. Because the next time you find a coin with spots, wear, or age, you might not be looking at damage. You might be looking at a fortune.